Hi, my name is Wayne Ganji. And welcome to my house of horror. I'm doing this Halloween display for approximately 10 years now. However, it was at a much smaller scale. I moved into this house back in 1999, and shortly thereafter I put a few things on the lawn and I saw it got positive reaction from the crowds going by. And from that point onward, it just became a little bit more elaborate each year until it is what it is today. When I was a child growing up, down the street in Montclair, there was a large home on Park Street, and every year they had elaborate displays on the lawn, and they had people that would dress up in the evening and act like zombies wandering around getting out of coffins. And for many years, that was the place to go, the destination for Halloween. Unfortunately, the family's grown up, they've moved on, the children grew up, they went to college, they graduated, and the family just couldn't handle it any longer because they were too old and the children were no longer in the town. So I felt badly that that was no longer a destination for people to come see something out of the ordinary. And I happened to move into this home that happened to be more of an ideal location for such a destination for people. So it's an opportunity for me to dress it up and let people have fun seeing what I can create. There's many holidays I try to celebrate out on my lawn. This is probably the largest, the kookiest, the funnest. Typically, besides Halloween, I'll decorate for Christmas, on occasion Easter, on occasion St. Patty's Day. But primarily most of my energies are put into Halloween as well as Christmas. It just depends on how much energy I have after the Halloween display comes down, determines how elaborate I make my Christmas display. Probably my favorite part to set up is the animatronics, because they're the things that people don't ordinarily see. It's the things that you plug in or you connect to a compressor. It has motion, it has sound, it has movement. So it's one of those things that people just find interesting and they wonder whether or not it's real or not. So it adds a little flavor to the lawn that you don't normally find on most decoration sites. Typically after Halloween, I begin searching on eBay, and eBay sells Halloween decorations all year long. So that's one way I get some of the more specialized things that I have. Otherwise, I try to take advantage of all the local stores like Walgreens, Walmart, Spirit Halloween, Party City, and just try to get all the pieces I can together, and then eventually, during the course of the year, begin to assemble things. So a lot of the action occurs behind the scene. You just happen to see the finished product when you pass my home. Typically, when I'm going to start putting this display together that people can see from the outside, it hovers right around Labor Day, because it's all year long that people approach me and wanting to know if I'm going to be starting my holiday decorations. But I usually let people know the first sign is a few heads around Labor Day. Then if a week later I might throw a few more heads up there. Then I have suspended cable lines throughout the house, running to the telephone lines and different trees. I begin to just put more things out in public for people to witness. Then once as time goes on and people begin to come around the house to help, we start putting the more substantial, heavier products out. And then before you know, we decorate right up until Halloween evening. So sometimes we put more valuable things out in the lawn. They can't stay out in bad weather. we bring them in on a nightly basis. Some things require that they have no moisture contamination. So there's constantly things being changed literally on a weekly basis. So ironically, a lot of people will tell me they pass my house often just to see what's been added to the display. My concern always is that there's a risk of vandalism on my display because not everyone finds Halloween to be the holiday that they like. In years past, when I first began decorating, there were episodes where things would be vandalized and body parts would be removed in the night. Other times there would just be artificial heads on some of the dummies taken, or wigs, or witch hats. I assumed that was just some local kid trying to supplement his costume. One episode a few years ago happened where they had destroyed part of the lawn display that was just created the night before. And that was the year that I chose to disassemble the lawn just because too much energy would be required to turn around and put it back together. Luckily, in the past few years, I have not had much damage, maybe a missing head here and there, but I do have security in the evening just to protect the property so that we don't run into those unfortunate incidents. Once we decide to break down the lawn, most of the figures are either stored above the garage in a crawlway space or in the basement. Things like the large coffins are put into a shed in the backyard. The dog crates that house a lot of people are put into the garage, just collapsed. Ironically, a lot of the people that you may see as being people on the roof dressed as men are typically rolled into plastic bags. They're collapsed. They're just nothing more than plastic bags filling out articles of clothing. And so we put 3 or 4 of them together, fold them in a bag, and tuck them away. So at the end of the night, we have sardine bags up in this crawlway space that doesn't allow for an inch of waste. And the rest is put in the basement with the sea of Christmas decorations that I have down there as well. The question is, how much longer will I be doing it in the future? That's a tough answer because it takes a lot of time, there's expense involved, there's commitment involved, and there's a matter of having other people helping me put the thing together. In some years I have more people help me than others years, so if I have a large crowd that has an incentive to want to do it, I'm game. So I usually get the feedback probably in the later part of the summer where people approach me and say they want to help me put the show together, and then we go right ahead and take it from there.